This was the largest-scale massacre in human history, with the purpose of eliminating the excess population on Earth. In the future, Earth's resources were severely depleted, and the population was overflowing. People built a 2-kilometer-long tunnel of death that would close at irregular intervals. Those who failed to exit the tunnel before it closed would be identified as targets for elimination by the system and subsequently dealt with. However, there were always some who liked to walk on the edge of death. The family of 5 before our eyes had just returned from a beach outing. At this moment, a tense atmosphere pressed down on the car's interior because they were on the road leading to the death tunnel. As far as the eye could see, the long queue stretched endlessly. As news broadcast through the radio, their expressions grew even more tense. The last time the tunnel closed was 20 hours ago, and the current speed of the cars was 5.35 kilometers per hour. In the next 60 minutes, there was a 9% probability that the tunnel would close. This worried look appeared on the man's face, while the children remained blissfully unaware of everything. As the distance to the death tunnel drew closer, their mood grew heavier. Just then, all the cars stopped, and the voice system alerted that the tunnel was closing. The massacre and cleansing began once more. They couldn't help but let out a long sigh because this meant their chances of survival were now much higher. Everyone got out of their cars and looked at each other, relieved they weren't part of the latest round of cleansing. Strangely though, this was already the 5th cleansing this week. When the tunnel doors reopened, the vehicles trapped inside had long since disappeared. The queue, stagnant for so long, once again drove deep into the tunnel. They would pass through this tunnel in 15 minutes. The man couldn't help but swallow nervously. With each beeping sound, it reminded them that they had now entered the tunnel. Everyone curiously looked out the windows. 2 giant fans loomed over everyone's hearts like the Grim Reaper. Just then, the tunnel suddenly went dark. The girls screamed in fright. The tunnel then quickly lit up again. The father attributed it all to the system possibly being outdated. Through the little girl's perspective, we could see they had already driven more than halfway through the tunnel. At this time, the boy and girl wrote their names on the car window. The whole family encouraged each other not to be too nervous. Suddenly, the car stopped without warning. The system alerted that a vehicle was changing lanes irregularly. Vehicles in other lanes continued moving normally. Only theirs and the neighboring girl's lane were at a standstill. The camera turned to show a car stuck between 2 lanes. The atmosphere in the car had reached a peak of tension. As the offending vehicle merged into the adjacent lane, the cars started moving again. They breathed a sigh of relief. The exit was already in sight. The children's laughter greatly annoyed the mother. Suddenly, a harsh ringing sounded from the horn. The heavy iron gate finally fell. As the broadcast sounded in the car, they knew they had narrowly escaped. The family hugged each other, smiling happily. The only pity was the neighboring girl's vehicle. Because of the other family's irregular lane change, they were forever left inside.